A very good evening to all the crypto enthusiasts. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the land of Cryptoverse. I'm Rukhsar Khan, your host for the evening, and we'll be having with us Mr. Ashish Thadani, who is a technical analyst on cryptocurrency, joining us for the event today. Now that you have joined, you would notice that you are in mute. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please write them on the chat section. At the end of the webinar, we would be holding a Q&A session where all the queries of the participants would be answered by our speaker. From the creator of Odin, MCX, IEX, here is yet another credible and neutral platform a user can rely on while walking towards the path of crypto and blockchain understanding. Starting from education to knowledge to the latest news, all covered under one super app, CryptoWire. From a novice to a professional trader, every market participant can have a slice of information readily available on the touch of their fingers. Let me walk you through the world's first crypto university, crypto TV, and crypto wire services. We all know that crypto and blockchain ecosystem is emerging at an immense speed. And to keep a track of all the events, prices, newses looks to be difficult. So what if we have an app like our buddy who works with us, thinks like us, responds to what we expect? Yes, you heard me right. It's your own global crypto super app, CryptoWire. Let me take you through the app briefly. Here is a global crypto super app, CryptoWire. Let's start with a home page which covers all the three pillars of the app: Crypto University, Crypto TV, and Crypto Wire services. Now, if you see, you can see WireWatch. I would like to give you a better understanding of WireWatch. In the WireWatch section, we can monitor the best price available on an exchange to buy and the best price available on an exchange to sell a particular cryptocurrency. In the center of the screen, we can see and monitor the arbitrage opportunity available between the two exchanges for the same cryptocurrency. We have close to 350 plus cryptocurrencies listed on the platform, along with 70 plus crypto exchanges worldwide. Now coming to the second pillar of our app, Crypto TV, which is an exclusive 24/7 mobile IPTV, covering everything on crypto and blockchain ecosystem. It is currently available in 4 different languages: English, Hindi, Gujarati, and Marathi. Now let's see our third pillar of our app, which is our Crypto University. Being the world's first digital university to offer courses on crypto and blockchain, you will find the best courses offered by MIT and Harvard by just a click of the app. Our today's speaker comes with a rich experience of technical indicators used in the most dynamic asset class, cryptocurrency. Join me in welcoming Mr. Ashish Thadani. Ashish, prime focus is to analyze and keep a close eye on cryptocurrency prices by way of plotting different studies on charts and keeping a track on new things happening in the world of blockchain. His multitasking ability also with his market analysis expertise has got him a long way. Ashish will take us all through his personal journey on how moving average study can impact the prices of cryptocurrency and why an individual should follow moving average to make an informed decision before trading the most volatile asset, cryptocurrency. I would now like to welcome Mr. Ashish Thadani to take over the session for today. Mr. Ashish.
Hi, thank you for having me on CryptoWire. I'm really excited to be here and share my knowledge on technical analysis with your viewers. And it's glad to see so many viewers here looking to educate themselves, looking to trade and benefit from this new asset class. So today, when we are talking about technical analysis, today we will begin with what is a candlestick and how to use moving averages. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and if you can confirm, you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can.
So here is Bitcoin's chart, right? And I'm going to zoom in. And firstly, I'm going to explain to you what a candlestick is. Okay, so this is a price chart. And all of these candlesticks represent historic data of the price of Bitcoin, right? So what happens is when we have historic data, we can trade any asset class that can be charted with certain patterns that either result in a bullish or a bearish probability. And therefore, we can get our stop loss from that and we can get our profit targets from that, right? So now that you've understood the basics of how technical analysis can help you, I want to explain to you what a candlestick is. So what we are looking at here is these are candlesticks, right? And this skinny line on top of the candlestick and below the candlestick are called the shadows of the candlestick, right? So the extreme top of the candlestick here is the highest price for that day, right? And the extreme bottom is the lowest price for that day. Okay. Now, if the candlestick is green, which means it's closed higher than it opened, which means that this end of the body here is the opening price for that day, and the top of the body here is the closing price for that day, right? And if the candlestick is red, the top of the body here is the opening price for that day, and the bottom of the body is the closing price for that day. Therefore, it is red, right? And so this is the daily chart. Therefore, each candlestick represents a day. So what is a candlestick? It is actually the sum of all trading for the time period or the time frame that you are watching. So currently we are watching the daily chart, right? So you can go here and you can change to 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 4 hours, any time frame, right? And what it will do is it will show you the candlestick for that particular time frame, right? So now let's stick to the daily chart to begin with. Okay. And now let's go to moving averages. Now, when we go to moving averages, what is a moving average? A moving average is basically a ribbon, like this red line you see here, which tracks the price of Bitcoin, the average price of Bitcoin, right? So there are various inputs you can give to a moving average, right? It's basically an algorithm that tracks the average price of Bitcoin over the last, so say your input is 9 or 21 or 50. These are the most common inputs that you put for your moving average, right? So currently we have the 21. So how you can do it is you can go on top here. You can see indicators and strategies where you see FX. You type EMA and you will see moving average exponential, right? So every time you want to add a new moving average, whether you want to add a 9, a 21, a 50, you keep adding this again and again. Okay, so once you press this, your moving averages will show up here. So I have already done this here, and you can see all my moving averages here. All right. So for example, here I've put 21. So you can go to your settings here next to EMA, and you can choose 21 for the length, basically the length of the time period that you're looking at, how many candles you want to get an average of, and what color you want it as. So I prefer my 21 EMA being red, right? You can keep a very contrasting color so you know it doesn't collude with the chart, right? And now, as you can see, is that what it's doing is especially an exponential moving average. It's calculating the average of the price, which is this currently, over the last 21 candles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way back till the last 21 candles. And what it helps you realize is whether a trend is bullish or bearish, right? So if you're looking to make a trade, or what do you look at? So especially if you're looking to make a swing trade or a positional trade, right? You will see first if the long-term trend is bullish or bearish, right? So you can go to the weekly chart and you can add the 21 moving average, right? And what you can see here is every time the price has crossed the 21 moving average, the price has rallied very high, right? So it's a confirmation that the trend is bullish. On the other hand, every time the price has gone below the 21 moving average, it's been a time to be cautious, to not make any long-term trades that are bullish. So this is a time to be bearish, and to find shorts, right? So today we are going to focus on longs. So once you understand that the price is in a bullish trend, you can also use the 50 EMA apart from the 21 EMA, because Bitcoin often goes back to the 50 EMA to test it as support. It's healthy in a bull market for Bitcoin to come back to its 21 EMA and its 50 EMA, right? It will test it as support here and then it rallies again, right? And we are getting this opportunity again. So what happens is when you use an EMA as a support, it gives you a clear invalidation. So here, if you took a trade here, right, your invalidation is below this low, right? And it offers you a good reward to risk ratio. So if you take a trade here, for example, let's go back in history. If I was to take a trade here and keep my stop loss here, I would have entered the trade at about $8,000. My stop loss for a positional trade could have been at $6,200. And I could have taken profit at about $38,000. And if I was lucky, about $60,000, right? And that would have been a great reward, about 5 to 7 times compared to the risk, which would have been a 15% loss, and that's completely all right when you are only risking 2 to 3% of your portfolio. So now I'm going to show you on how you can make a trade with moving averages once you've realized that the trend overall macro trend is bullish, right? The long-term trend is bullish. You go to the shorter time frame. So you go to a 4-hour chart, right? And you can see here now is that once this 21 EMA crosses the 50 EMA, 21 is the faster EMA. Once it crosses the 50 EMA, we know the trend has changed. So you can see this red line crossing the green line. So you know now that the trend has changed and it's safe for me to take a long, right? It offers me a good opportunity to take a long. So once the trend has changed, you can then look for a long. So as soon as you see this crossover, ideally what you want to do is you could have bought at this support here, right? And as soon as you bought at this support, this could have been your stop loss here. And your profit targets can be based on the next resistance. So now what I'm going to do to help you formulate or make a trade is also add in support and resistance, because using technical analysis is not about using one indicator or one strategy to make a trade. It's about finding confluence. So how do you find confluence? You have to see that you have to use 2 or 3 strategies together to create a trade, to have a higher probability of being profitable or winning. Okay. So now what we can do here is we will add support and resistance lines. So as you can see, I'm zooming out a bit. Okay. And you can see that this has been a clear downtrend so far, right? And how do we know that it's broken this downtrend? So what I can do is I can add a trend line from here, right? So I go here and add a trend line. Once I add a trend line, I go to the top of where the rally had ended, and I try and draw it till the bottom. So what you can see here is every time the price hit this line, it found a lot of selling pressure, right? It was unable to cross this line. So therefore it went further down. Again, it hit this line here, which acted as a resistance, and it went further down, right? So ideally what you want to do is you want to wait for this trend line to be broken so that we know buyers are in some sort of control, and and the selling pressure has been exhausted. So usually, you know, the selling pressure is exhausted when you see a long shadow like this of a candle, right? And now finally, we see a break of this trend line. All right. So once you see a break of this trend line, what you can do is now you can add a horizontal line, right? So this trend line initially acted as resistance. Now let's find a support where we can buy Bitcoin after it has broken this trend line, right? So ideally what you can see is once this resistance has been broken, right? And even the 21 EMA on the 4-hour chart is exactly matching with our support, right? Now that's not coincidence. That happens very often, right? So this is basically telling you that a lot of people are willing to buy Bitcoin here. A lot of traders are willing to buy Bitcoin at $49,215, right? So you can keep your buy orders here, right? And you can keep your stop loss at 47,800. Or if you are a long-term positional swing trader, you can keep your stop loss right here at 45,400, right? So ideally what I do is Bitcoin has a habit of hitting the support level, deviating. So it can go all the way to its 50 EMA, which is here, right? And it'll still cause a higher low. And that's good for bullish market structure. So it will go down here, deviate below, create like a 180-degree circle, and then get up and give you a retest here and then rally, right? So therefore, you keep your stop loss below this or below this. So because ideally what you're looking for is Bitcoin is looking to make a higher low. So this is the previous low, and now it's looking to make a higher low, which is close to the 21 EMA and this support level, right? Now I'm going to show you how and where you should take profit. So first you can look at taking profit here, which is the 53,650 level, right? And then the next level you can look at taking profit is here, and you use horizontal lines for both, which is 56,120. You don't want to take the exact number. You want to do something little lesser than that, because often you get front run because everyone has kept sell orders at the same number. So what you want to do is 53,500 for this and 56,000 for this, you know, example. And ideally what you want to do is whenever it hits the support and you're trying to buy it, you never go all in, right? So if you have an X amount you want to invest, you allocate about 30% here. You let Bitcoin deviate, you see it forming a higher low, right? And once it comes back after a deviation and gives you another retest, then you can invest another 30% of your portfolio, right? And then you can ride this to the next resistance and the next one. And those are your profit targets. So these are the basics of using moving averages. There are two kinds of moving averages. There's simple moving averages, and there's exponential moving averages. The ones you are looking at currently are exponential moving averages. The reason we use exponential moving averages often is because it calculates an average based on recent price data, right? So these ribbons here react much quicker compared to a simple moving average. A lot of traders have different preferences, but you will see a lot of them using exponential moving averages. And I'll find that your viewers will find this more useful and profitable to trade with. So is there any other question you have for me?
We'll be taking the questions in the end.
Awesome. Okay. So now what we can do is we can also look at longer term moving averages. So you have, this is where I use simple moving averages, right? Because they are longer term moving averages. So the 100 MA and the 200 MA, right? So usually, you know, anything is long-term bullish. So let's go to the daily chart and let's remove the 50 EMA and the 21 EMA. Anything that tests the 200 SMA, which is a simple moving average on the daily chart, is and bounces off it, is actually very bullish. And Bitcoin has recently done that. So on the last webinar and talk that I had on CryptoWire, I had mentioned on my newsletter as well, which I write every month, that Bitcoin is, this is a higher low. So you see here on the long-term chart, this has made a low here previously. We've made a new high, and now it's forming a higher low, which is higher than this, right? And what it's done here is, as you can see, it's broken this downtrend as well. And at the same time, it's tested as 200 simple moving average. So when you're using moving averages, this is the kind of confluence you're looking for, right? You're using basic knowledge of higher highs and higher lows to know that the market is bullish, and the 100 MA has crossed the 200 MA, which is the moving average, right? And that is bullish as well. And now the price is testing the 200 simple moving average. So this is ideally where I would buy on the daily chart. And you have your stop loss here below the higher macro low for like long-term traders. So you can buy here at 45,600, and this could have been your stop loss at 39, you know, and then this can rally now all the way to $70,000, $80,000. And then after that, it will find a retrace. All for me on moving averages and how to use different moving averages. What you can do is you can find moving averages on different time frames. If you're a long-term trader, you can use the daily chart. If you're a short-term trader and you need a stop loss or invalidation closer, then you can use the 4-hour chart, right? And I showed you that the stop loss can be here. And you can use the weekly chart to see if the overall trend is bullish, which it is. And you can use support and resistance lines like I showed you initially to see where you can find an entry. So why do you use the support and resistance lines? You're using it because once Bitcoin has broken this, you're expecting it to test this again as a support. So once it breaks the ceiling, which is the resistance, it will test the flow, right, to find buyers. So this is ideally where you keep your orders, 49,300, 49,200, and with your stop loss at 45,300. This is how I would trade it. And this would be your profit targets, 53,600 and 56,000. So those are quite healthy profit targets. Now, if I was looking for what's the reward to risk on this, I can look at here we go. So your risk to reward ratio is 1.5 to 2 times, right? And that's pretty good. So you want to make sure that anytime you're trading cryptocurrency, your reward to risk ratio is 2:1. You know, your gains, if you were to lose a trade, you're losing so much X, but if you were to win, you're winning 2X. So this is all I have to cover with moving averages and support and resistance levels and how you can use these to make a trade. Apart from this, there are many other strategies you can include, which include Fibonacci. You can include the Ichimoku cloud, and you can use oscillators like the stochastic to see if the trend is also turning bullish on the oscillators. So would you like me to cover any of those?
Yeah, we still have like time if you would like to.
Awesome. Okay. So what we can do is we can look at the stochastic right now. So you click on stochastic RSI after you go to indicators and strategies. And what you can see here is the stochastic, right? So every time these ribbons are like moving averages on the oscillator, right? So every time the blue ribbon crosses the orange one, you know it's bullish. So you can go on the longer time frame, like 1 day. And you can see here that when Bitcoin crossed this, we came into a bullish trend. It gave you an indication early that we are entering into a bullish trend, and Bitcoin started rallying here. So buyers could position themselves, right? And anyone who's come late to the trade can now buy the retest of this support line. So this is another confluence that you can use to get into a trade. Another indicator you can use is Ichimoku cloud. Now, if you go to the short-term chart, now you can see is that the cloud is green here, right? This cloud is green here. This is a Japanese indicator, and the Ichimoku cloud has moving averages of itself. So the red line here is the faster moving average, and the blue line is the slower moving average, right? And the red line is called Tenkin Sen in Japanese, and the blue line is called Kijun Sen, right? So what often traders will do is they'll buy on a retest of the Tenkin Sen or the Kijun Sen, so of the red line or the blue line. So once price hits this, you'll scale in. So at about 49,800 and at 48,600. So once it touches both these lines, you will scale in with a trade, and you can keep your stop loss right below the cloud at about 46,500. So a lot of people use Ichimoku cloud to trade it. These are Japanese moving averages. Another thing you can use for confirmation is super trend. So what the super trend also has shown you that you can see the super trend color is green right now, right? It's also showing you that it's broken this downtrend on the short term. So you're using many indicators to tell you that you can now enter a long trade. And so, for example, this diagonal breakout, the super trend shows you a green color and a breakout here of the super trend. The Ichimoku cloud shows you a green cloud. So the one way to use Japanese moving averages is when the red line is above the blue line, it's bullish. When the cloud is green, and this green line here is the lagging span. And when the lagging span is over the price. So when all of these criteria meet, you know that the price has reversed from a bearish trend and is now bullish. Similarly, when you go to when it had broken down, you can see here that the price has broken down. The red line has gone below the blue line. The cloud has turned red and the lagging span is below the price. So these are all bearish indicators, right? And you could have entered a short on a retest of any of these. So whenever you enter a short, you scale in, like you enter a short here and on this line, the red and blue line, and you would have taken profit here. Again, on the retest of this, you could have taken profit here. Similarly, same way, a lot of people use Ichimoku cloud to short and long the market. And you can do that with moving averages as well. So you can go short or long. So for example, if you're using the 50 EMA and the 21 EMA, when the 21 EMA, which is the red line, crosses the green line, the 50 EMA, the fast one crosses the slow one, right? You see that immediately the price drops, the volatility increases. And every time it will retest this, it will give you a further drop, because it's acting as a ceiling, a resistance. You're finding a lot of sellers here. So you can use this to short. So every time it touches the 50 EMA, you enter a short. Here you enter a short, you can take profit here. Here, since you've drawn the trend line, you can enter a short and then you can take profit somewhere here, And then finally, you can start looking for longs because you can see this shadow here, which is the wick of the candle. This shows exhaustion. So this can show this because the candle is red and it's towards the downside. It shows seller exhaustion, because it's a long wick. Similarly, if you have a wick on the top like this with a green candle, it usually shows buyer exhaustion. And therefore, you should be cautious into entering a long in those cases. So yeah, this is how I would enter a trade. And this is how I would use moving averages to go long or short the market. And ideally, what you want to do is you want to manage your risk. So if you're trading futures, you want to make sure that you're only risking 2% of your portfolio, right? So based on your stop loss and based on your portfolio size, you have to make sure that if your portfolio is 1 crores, then you're only risking at about 2 lakhs on that trade, which is 2%. So it's important that you practice proper risk management, because what happens is even the most successful traders have a profit profitability rate of about 60 to 70%, right? And the other 30 to 40% times they're losing, they make sure that they're managing risk. Otherwise, if they blow their account up, they will have no money for the 60 to 70% of the times they can be right. So trading is all about managing risk. Technical analysis is actually a strategy to help you increase your probability of being profitable and managing your risk at the same time. So this is how you should think of using it to get in and out of a trade. So is there anything else you'd like me to cover today on this?
Yeah, is it possible for you to compare Bitcoin with the past performance,
Of
where
course.
moving average was successful, to trade in the live market?
Sure. So we'll go back.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, this is a great example. So here you can see in September, at the beginning of October, where we had the red line, which is the 21 EMA, crossed the 50 EMA, right? And as soon as it crossed it, here you got a retest of the 21 EMA. You could have easily bought in here, and once you buy in here, you can ride the trend until it breaks and, it will not close over the 50 and the 21 EMA, or this line crosses, the red line crosses below the green line. So you could have traded this all the way from $47,000 to $60,000, and that would have been a great profit. So a lot of people make algorithms and they do algo trading simply based on small strategies like these, where you have the 21 EMA crossing the 50 EMA, and that is a buy signal, and you have the 21 EMA crossing below the 50 EMA, and that is a sell signal, right? So these things automatically can show you whether the trend is bullish or bearish, and if you should be cautious or you can then take a risk. Similarly, here you see that when the price broke down and the line crossed, every time it hit the 21 EMA and 50 EMA, it acted as a resistance, right? So these are short-term trends. So you can buy and sell according to that, and you can use the weekly. So if we go to September, you could use the weekly here to see if it is a good time to buy. Here, this was your September, and it perfectly tested the 21 EMA on the weekly chart. And this is usually a very good buying opportunity. So you could have traded this all the way from this till the next resistance that was here. And that would have been a great trade. Similarly, on the weekly chart, you can see I was talking about these long wicks here. That is exhaustion, that is buyer exhaustion. So you can see after having this wick, the price has then cooled off, and it's found support then at the 50 EMA. So it's important to use these indicators to kind of scale into the market. The point is not to go all in. You have to make sure that, so if I knew that this was testing the 21 EMA, I would have bought some here and then I would have bought some here. The point is not to go all in. The point is to buy a little bit here and buy a little bit here, right? And so these are like, this is one occasion, right? And if I go back to, let's go back to a longer time frame. So this was in 2017. Let me take you to 2017. Yeah, this was when everyone was talking about Bitcoin, when it went to $20,000, right? And a lot of people got into Bitcoin because it got a lot of attention. And you can see a Bitcoin tried to test its 50 EMA, bounced a little, but then couldn't hold it, and then was using the 21 EMA as resistance, couldn't cross it, and you knew then that the trend was bearish and you could have entered a short. For example, let's go to a smaller time frame to enter a short then. Let me go to December 2017. Right. So when you see price has reached a high of $19,000 in December 2017. And as soon as this red line crossed here, you knew that the trend is now getting bearish on the short term, right? You could have exited here and you could have started looking for shorts. So I could have used this 21 EMA as an entry for a short and this as my stop loss. This I could have used for another entry and I could have taken profit here, right? Similarly here, could have used this as a buy opportunity, taken profit here. And as soon as the line crosses again, you use this retest as a short opportunity. And then you keep adding to your shorts and then you can use it as profit somewhere here. So moving averages are very profitable to use. All you have to make sure is that you don't get too greedy or too fearful and you scale in, and you manage your risk. And I think most of your viewers will be able to use this. And especially long-term investors can find this very helpful. I've seen a lot of long-term investors use only moving averages and make investments for the long term.
Cool.
So is there anything else you'd like me to cover today?
No, I think that's it. I would like to thank you so much, Ashish, for serving us as a speaker and sharing your views on today's webinar. Your readiness to share your experience and expertise on the topic to enlighten us all and help us understand the topic better is really appreciated. On behalf of all the attendees, I would like to thank you, sir. It was a pleasure interacting with you. I would also like to thank all the wonderful participants who have shown interest in learning and making informed decisions before entering the crypto market. I would now request Ashish to address questions raised by the audience.
Sure.
So are you ready?
Yes.
So I have the first question, which is coming from Bhavya.
Sure.
What is the minimum time frame we should be looking at while doing the trading? Should it be short term or long term?
So it depends from each trader's style, right? This is a very important question. Now, if you are trading intraday, then you might look at 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, right? But if you're looking for a trade to last a few days, a little longer, then you're looking at 4 hours and 2 hours, right? And then if you're looking for a trade to last for a week, a month, or maybe 2 months, then you're looking at the daily and the weekly chart, right? So what you want to do is you want to figure out what kind of time frame you want to trade. Are you trading intraday? Are you a swing trader? Are you a positional trader, right? Because a lot of different strategies apply to different time frames. Right? I usually personally don't use lower time frames like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. The lowest time frame that I use is 4 hours to enter a trade. And to see if the trend is bullish or bearish, I use the weekly chart. And I often use the daily chart to draw support and resistance lines to buy the support that hasn't been tested or sell into a resistance that can be a profit level. So as a swing or positional trader, which is my preference, you want to trade the 4 hour and upwards. You don't want to trade below that.
Cool. I hope Bhavya, you got the answer to your question and got a clearer view on what is to be done. Thanks, Bhavya. Now there is a second question which has come in. How would you form an entry for a trade and a target for the trade?
Perfect. Okay, we've gone through this in the webinar, but I will go through this again because it's a very important subject. So now as you go on the daily chart, you can go on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so 4 hours is the minimum I'd use, right? And you can see here that this line that I've drawn here, which was resistance earlier, right? So you go here, do horizontal line, right? And then you can draw this line on top of this, right? And you can see that the price has acted as resistance here every time it's come up here, right? And then finally it's broken here. So when it breaks the same line, you want to buy it at. So you will buy it here. You will keep your stop loss here or here, preferably here, because Bitcoin has a habit of putting a long shadow on a candle down and hitting your stop loss. So what you want to do is you want to keep your stop loss here, right? And you enter here. And then your next profit targets will be this because so you can go to horizontal line again, and you can draw it right here at the below the candle body, right? Because you know that it's going to now test this because this is untested. You can see here that the body is actually overlapping the line. So this line has not been tested yet, this resistance. So this can be your one profit target. And similarly with the next one, this can be your second profit target. And you can keep doing the same thing on more resistances above. So you can draw a resistance line here. This can be your third profit target, and this can be your fourth profit target. So usually as a trader, you are keeping about 3 to 4 targets, and you leave a little bag behind in case it runs further, but you want to make sure you take profit.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have got one question which is coming from Rahul. How do you define a macro bullish trend using moving average?
Of course, we covered that as well. And then that's again very important question. It's a good recap. And therefore we go to the weekly chart. When you say macro, you know what you're trying to say is that the long-term trend is bullish, right? Or bearish. So how do you recognize the long-term trend is bullish? The first thing you can do is, as I said earlier, is you make sure that the 21 EMA, which is the red line, has crossed the 50 EMA upwards, right? So the red line has crossed the 50 EMA, which is the green line upwards. So now we know we're in the bull trend. And now you can see that the price, the candles are above the 21 EMA. So this is bullish. Now you know you're on a macro bullish trend. And now you can go on the 4-hour chart after this to look for a trade.
Okay. Then there comes a question from Rakesh. What is the other complementary strategy you can use along with moving average, which helps a successful trade?
Of course. So I'll tell you what I use. So everyone's style is very different, and a lot of people use different indicators and strategies together to find some kind of confluence. So ideally what you're doing is with moving average, as I showed you earlier, you're using support and resistance lines, right? This is the most simple way to begin trading, right? Because it's very profitable, actually, most simple and most profitable. Then what you can do is you can to make sure that the trend is bullish, you can also look at the Ichimoku cloud, like I showed you earlier. And the Ichimoku cloud is basically Japanese moving averages, right? You can see that the cloud is green. The red line is above the blue line, which is again moving averages, like I showed earlier. And the lagging span, which is green here, is above the price. So all these criteria meet, and you know the trend is bullish. Now you can use support and resistance lines to buy and sell, you know, and you can use oscillators. So I like using oscillators as well. So I can go on indicators and strategies and type stochastic RSI, right? Click that and I get these ribbons here, right? So again, when this blue ribbon here in the box below crosses the orange ribbon, you can see price has rallied. So this is also a confirmation that the price has turned bullish. So these are another few strategies I use to get into a trade.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Ashish. One last question we're taking. Where can we find more information about blockchain and how can we skill ourselves to make a career in it?
Awesome. So that is actually a great question. And you are here today. So I'm guessing you are here to educate yourself and learn about blockchain and trading and investing. So that is the first step. And that is a big step because CryptoWire is a great place to learn and educate yourself and improve your trading skills. Another thing you can do is you can follow my newsletter. My newsletter comes out monthly under the name of Isolate Capital, which is my company. It's my research newsletter. Comes out mid-month. So if you could share the link below on your video, that would be great too.
Sure.
You can use, so since we live in a digital age, you have to keep yourself up to date and it's your responsibility. Use websites like YouTube. There are a lot of content creators online that are offering a really good content and education. So use that to your advantage. It's all free. You can use websites like Udemy that offer you courses for 500, 200, 1,000 rupees. And they offer you certifications. And a lot of companies nowadays are recognizing these online certifications. So this is how I started. And this is how I would recommend that you take the initiative and you start like this. You don't need an expensive course to do well in life. All that information you need is available online.
Right. Very rightly said. I would also add to this by saying you could also download the CryptoWire app today and be a part of the global learning, because there's a lot of information, content, news that we have. So you can make use of that by downloading the app today itself. And with this, we would come to an end to our webinar. I thank you and all the attendees of the webinar to really, have been participated and patiently waited and heard us out. Our next webinar will be on the 28th December. We look forward to your participation in the webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you.
With you.
Thank you so much. You guys can find my social media handles on the video, and you can connect with me if you have any questions. And I hope to be on CryptoWire soon and speak to you all soon again.
Absolutely. We look forward to that. Thank you, Ashish.
Awesome. See you soon.
Thanks. Soon.
Happy holidays. Take care.
Same to you. Bye.